Peru Business Trip Analysis, a culture podcast presentation by Maiken and Diane. A quick overview of what we are going over in this presentation. I will discuss the trip expectation and our Peru trip findings. First, I'll go over the music. What kind of music does Peruvian listen to? Then we'll go over the choice of beverages. What do the locals drink? Furthermore, we'll explain what their fashion style is like. And then I'll end the presentation by discussing Peruvian cuisine. Okay, let us begin. We expected a big Latin influence in their music, as well as we expected tourist attraction to have Peruvian flute music playing in the background. And thirdly, we expected a mix of top 40 music, mixed styles in one radio station. For example, country, pop, and rock, as they have on the Scandinavian radio channels. So let us examine our trip findings. As you can see, lovely Diane is playing Peruvian flute music, and she'll be playing for us for the rest of this presentation. To our surprise and personal experience, we heard 90s music and current pop music. One of the local clubs in Lima did offer 80s music mixed with techno, a surprising combo of music styles. Eva Alon is a local Lima legend, and she is considered one of the best musicians in Latin music. In Peru, Eva is often referred as Peru's Tina Turner. Moving right along. So, what do we expect Peruvian food to taste like? Well, first we figured since the Latin influence, the food would be spicy. We also figured that they will have tons of fish dishes, since they have one of the best fish varieties in the world. Here is what we found. The food we tasted was not spicy. What a shocker. I even asked why this was the case. I got the answer that they like people to add their own spices to fit their taste. So let me show you the food we found in Peru. So let me give you a food tour and answer your burning question of what Peruvian food tastes like. But first, let's start out our journey with snacks. As you can see, the snacks in a green package called turon was ultra sweet. It had oozing sweet nectar coming out of the crisp bar. If you look at the left, you'll see a much healthier snack called chicuegol that is made in couscous. I was told that the locals like eating the snack for breakfast. Okay, so what's for lunch? Bimbo's is a local favorite. Its direct rival is actually McDonald's. The Bimbo's menu had exciting combination. As you can see, I had the Extrema for lunch and it was tasty. Too bad I couldn't finish it all. You might be surprised by Lima have food chains like we have. In Lima, you can find McDonald's, Burger King, Dunkin' Donuts, TJ Fridays, and yes, pizza franchise such as Pizza Hut and Domino Pizza, but we opted for Cusco's Pizza, as you can see here in the picture. The cheese tasted different and the topping tastes like some type of bologna. Now, sharing some Peruvian dishes, I got to taste risotto relleno, also known as stuffed peppers. This was delicious and it had some spice to it, but not spicy. Diane had this elegant fish dish. Our group was lucky enough to visit Alicorp, where we got these freebies to take home to the States. So let me show you how to make Negrita chocolate pudding. Okay, first you pour 2 cups of whole milk in a pot, then add the contents of the bag. Next, whisk real good and blend the milk and powder, then continue to stir for 5 minutes on medium heat till the pudding thickens. Pour the hot pudding in an easy to pour container and into desired serving portions. And I topped this with strawberries because who doesn't love chocolate and strawberries? In conclusion, Peruvian food is delicious. So now you're probably thirsty, so let's talk about what Peruvian drinks. Now, we expected a great assortment of wines, and We also expected to find our favorite sodas like Coke and Sprite. And here's what we found the locals drinking. The local beer of choice is Cusqueña, and Coca-Cola's competitor is the famous Peruvian Inca Cola. This soda was delicious. Our group enjoyed the Peruvian staple drink, which is pisco sour. It's actually a mixture of egg whites, lime, bitters, and liqueur pisco. This drink was invented in 1920s by Victor Morris. The last drink we found was in the Cusco's mountains, and that is coca tea. It's used to help hikers to prevent altitude sickness. It has a very earthy taste to it. So moving right along. So what fashion did we think the Peruvian wore? Well, we expected to see Peruvian knitted style winter hats, especially in the Cusco's area. And we also expected to see some colorful ponchos. Here's actually what we found. Diane took these fabulous pictures of clothing stores in Lima. As you can see, the style is very similar to ours. In contrast, in Cusco, where I took this picture, they still sell the traditional wardrobes that the descendants of Incas still wears. We witnessed this up in the mountain Machu Picchu. Some of actually the ladies wore these traditional clothes, did not wear shoes. Now, on the other hand, there are still locals that dress up in these traditional clothing to earn money from the many tourists. Okay, so let's do a quick review of what our trip expectation and findings were. Number 1, we went over Peruvian music and Diane performed for us. 2, we took you on a food tour and we discovered that Peruvian food is not spicy. 3, we discovered that the locals drink, and that is pisco sour, is a national drink in Peru. And 4, we went over the 2 different clothing styles and how it varies by location. Thank you so much for your time. And this concludes the Peruvian Business Trip Analysis, a Culture podcast presentation.